What's up, guys? Welcome to Blake's Garage. If you are unaware, I'm big into the track scene. I got my BMW M4 over here, the Time Attack machine, man, and I like to go to the racetrack. No surprise, I guess, right? We all like to do it, but a lot of us need to figure out what we need to bring, what we need to do, and I think the first thing would be is car prep. So we'll talk about things that you need to bring as well. Really, first and foremost, how do you even sign up for a track day? Like, where do you do it at? How do you go to a racetrack? Now, I'm not talking quarter mile, but I guess it could be similar, but I'm talking road racing, having fun, turning left, turning right, sending it. And having an absolute blast. Motorsport Reg. That is one of the best websites. I'm pretty sure you can just Google it and get on their email list, and it'll send you every month. I think it'll send you like a month or 2 or 3 months out of all the events happening at local tracks. So whether that's gonna be in your area or around you, I can't remember if it sends even more, but anyways, Motorsport Reg. Find your organization. I like to go with Turn 8 track days. Another one I like to go with is On Grid. There's a lot in Southern California. I know there's SoCal Drivers Club if you guys want kind of like a private day, 40 cars max, all day, open track. That's more of a intermediate advanced group. If you guys have never been before, I'd recommend going with a beginner friendly organization like Turn 8 or On Grid or something like that, as you need to know the rules of the track. You can't just go out there and smash and like think you're gonna be good, because you're not. First time at the track, you're gonna suck. I'm gonna let you know that. You might think you're a great driver. You're not. And that's why we need seat time. Best mod for a car of all is a driver mod. Congratulations, you're getting into one of the most expensive hobbies you can. It's fun, don't worry, but you're gonna need all these things, and to do all these things, or else, well, you're not gonna be prepared. That's gonna be bad news. So let's get into it. Besides having that, you know, the vehicle does sort of matter. And I mean that you need a car, you need it to not leak oil, you need it to stop, and you need it to run and not overheat. So if you can do those things, great. After that, give the thing a fresh oil change, right? Fresh fluids, everything's running good. We're gonna go to the brakes. This is the #1 thing necessary for a track day. You can have a stock car, stock Miata, stock Honda Civic, whatever. The only thing you're really gonna wanna do is upgrade the brake fluid. Now, I recommend, and I keep with me, this is one of the things I'll go through my tool bag and kind of what I keep, and then I'm gonna go through some extra stuff that I should carry, and then I need to start carrying. Castrol SRF React, 90 bucks a liter. It's not your $4 AutoZone brake fluid. That stuff will boil over and you will die. Maybe, maybe not, but you'll boil over your brakes and you'll have a bad time. Pedal's gonna get squishy, your brakes are gonna boil, and like your car's not gonna stop. It's not gonna be good. This stuff, extremely high boiling point. Then there's Motul RF 660 and RF 550 or something like that. Anyways, that stuff's good as well. A lot of people run that. I like the Castrol SRF. Brake pads. That's a huge one. You possibly can get away on your first track day with stock brake pads, but definitely change out the fluid. But you are gonna figure out very quickly that your brakes are limited to how aggressive those pads are when they get hot, and they might just stop stopping. Stop stopping ain't no stop. That ain't fun. You're gonna die. You're gonna fly off track. Like I'm saying, it gets scary. So having an aggressive compound for track use is great. I use G-Lock brakes. That's what I go with. They have a lot of different pads starting from a R6, R8, what is it, R10, R12, R16, and R18 compound. I run an R18 compound in the front because it's a big, heavy car, and I like to go fast. But you got to put a lot of heat into those. Those are a full race pad. And then I run R12s in the back with the floating, you know, 2-piece rotor, J-hook, 034 Motorsports. Unnecessary until you start going fast. This is not a necessary thing, but yeah, that. Then another big one for your car. Okay, I guess I lied. There's one more thing you need. Tires with tread on them. I mean, they could be slicks or they could be whatever, but you know, just have decent tires that aren't gonna get cooked out in one session. So they are gonna get destroyed though, keep that in mind. I have one track day on these tires. You see that? Yeah, dude. Cupamundos. Consumables are expensive, but they are also necessary. Then let's get on to the things that we need to bring. Now, I just went to the track this last week. Came home with a little trophy. Not the best trophy. third place, second loser. You know, it's okay. We don't always win every time. Went to Thunderhill West, had a great time with turn 8. So Sego ran a 120.16 in that S2K. Crazy fast, crazy fast. And then Steven in his Tesla, yep, a Tesla. Steven, if you're watching this, I know it's a fast Tesla, but we all know it's a Tesla. And everybody's gonna be like, a Tesla? Hopefully I get to drive it next time though, we'll see. A 120.98, and then Blake, me, a 122.68. Sorry, I said 69.68. Not my PB by any means, but I only got one session. It was raining, so keep that in mind. And yeah, then my car had a couple issues while at the track, but got it taken care of, so that's great. Let's get on to the things we also need to bring. First and foremost, I like to bring a cooler with something with electrolytes in it. If it's Gatorade, if it's water, whatever. I bring my handy dandy pack out Milwaukee because I'm a Milwaukee guy. I like my pack out stuff. It's easy to put in my car. It doesn't slide around. I can stack it. And if we gotta hit the brakes, we don't die. That's another good thing. You can see a good theme going on here. Another huge one. Sunscreen. Grab that sunscreen. I've had skin cancer like 3 times now. Not good. See that right there? Not good. See that right there? Not good. Skin graft on the ear. Not good. Yeah, wear sunscreen. Don't get sunburned. Also, big old hat. Let's see, I got one in the car. Big old hat to keep you shaded. If it's a racetrack with a shaded area, try to get there early. Try to get in that shaded area. If not, definitely get a hat, bring a pop-up, little pop-up tent or whatever. I do have one of those over here. You know, something to think about, but again, this is extra stuff. But if you know you're gonna need it, get it, bring it. While we're on the pack out topic, tools, right? I bring a 1/2-inch drive toolkit from Milwaukee. Now, the reason I do that, in metric and in standard, is because most people at the track, your neighbors, people hanging out with you, are gonna have those basic tools, like the smaller 1/4-inch stuff and all that. But when it comes to like having the bigger sockets for suspension components, I found most people don't bring those. So I like to bring that and bum the other stuff. I need to bring more, but yeah. Pack out, bring GoPro stuff to film, GoPro batteries, bunch of GoPro 360 cam. I made this little thing into all of my gear for all my cords and everything like that. If it's your first time going, not a big deal. But if you guys have gone a lot and you're watching this video, something to think about, right? I just stack this, and that's really nice. Huge one, helmet. This you need, but at some organizations you can rent it. But you are gonna need it to go on track. This one right here is an OMP. Not the coolest helmet by any means, but you know, it goes. It does what it needs to do. Snell SA 2015. It's Hans ready. You can see the drilled holes. I have GoPro mounts there and there. Pops up. It's got pads. And there is a difference between a motorcycle helmet and a racing helmet. You can see this is like Nomex. Doesn't light on fire. Racing helmets are designed to not light on fire, where motorcycle helmets are kind of designed for easy removal when you crash and they need to immobilize you, I guess, to where you don't get more jacked up taking it off. I have a Hans here. This is a Hans 3, non-carbon. You know, it's cool, it's fancy, it gets the job done. But this is only something you need if you have harnesses in your car. And on that topic, if you have harnesses on your car, you damn well better have a roll cage. Do not have harnesses in a harness bar. Just a harness bar is way more dangerous than having just a 3-point lap belt, because when you're strapped in, you roll your car over, now your head is locked in, and yeah, roof crushes down, crushes your spine, then you die, your head falls off. Not a good thing. So this is what I was talking about too. I'm running Schroth, you know, racing harnesses with my Hans. I have a Sparco. It's bolted down. This thing is solid, and I have a roll cage. So, you know, that's what I have for safety equipment. At a beginner's level, it's, you know, not necessary unless you roll the first time you go out, which anything could happen, but not something you should need for the first time. This is a Nomex OMP Racing FIA certified balaclava or head sock, you know. This is a really nice one, it's seamless at the top, kind of more expensive, but yeah, I've had this for quite a few years and I dig it. The racing gloves. Now, not all racing gloves are made the same. These ones are externally stitched. Sparcos, these are, I don't remember, $200, $250. Right here, see what that says? Touch S. What do you need that for? To be able to touch your phone, okay? They work with your cell phone. And biggest thing of all, which I guess I'll get to now, is my lap timer. So I run a Garmin in my car, which is an amazing lap timer. This thing disconnects real quickly. You can review your data, which is great. You can go to all your tracks. So you can see I'm using my fingers. PB here was a 2206, which was, you know, at another time, but we'll go to the other day. And then what's really cool with this is, you know, you can figure out if your track was wet or dry. I need to say dry on this one. And then we can go back to our laps. We can see our lap consistency, our differential gap in between laps. You know, some of this varies depending on like if we had traffic or whatever. Then you can literally just click into your app. You can go through it. You can go through each lap in particular. And oh, I took my memory card out, but you can actually view back the video, which is really cool. And it has playback opportunity that gives you real-time coaching and all of that. It'll actually like yell at you as you do it, but you just set it up, you go in here, you know, you tell it what track you're gonna do. This is the alignment check. So you can see it actually has a camera up here and it records the track, which is super awesome.
Just turn it.
So Garmin lap timer. There's also the AIM. I wouldn't buy the regular AIM Solo as it doesn't have downloadable features. It does give you lap times, but for what it is, you should invest in a DL or a net. But this is $1,000. This is completely unnecessary, but it's completely awesome if you got a G to spend. Okay, another thing in car, fire extinguisher. I do time attack, that is a requirement. I recommend one of these guys. I'll leave a link down below. This is the best fire extinguisher you can get. That stupid little stick is the most garbage piece of crap I've ever seen. Everybody likes them because they're lightweight and they're cheap. They're garbage. My friend's Corvette lit on fire. We tried using that. That thing did absolutely nothing until we got a real fire extinguisher, okay? This is a Halgard. So this was for liquids and electrical equipment fire. And this will put out a fire on your car without getting everything nasty and corrosive and all that. It actually, you know, takes the oxygen out of the air with this guy. So this is a really awesome system, and I just have it on a mount right here. I'll leave a link down to those below. They're not cheap, not at all cheap, but cleaning up your engine or cleaning up your interior, like if you had an interior fire, oh man, it's just gonna destroy your car. Not even the fire, but the gunk that comes out of those cheap ABC fire extinguishers. The next item, which are pretty important before just like basic hand tools and stuff, that is air. So air pressure is a huge thing. When you just have a really stock car, getting your air pressures correct, and that is a cold air pressure going out, and then a hot air pressure once you've either done a couple laps or after a session. Kind of depends on what you're doing. If you're not going too hard, you can probably do it after a session. If you don't know your tire pressures, you may want to come in after 2 laps and check it and just see where you're at. You can bleed off some air, then go back out. Easy, it won't tear up your tires as bad, and then you can get a good baseline on what tire temperatures or, well, there's temperature, and then what tire pressure you like to run. This guy right here is the one I like to recommend. There's an M12 version of the Milwaukee that usually goes on sale around Christmas time. It's absolutely awesome, but this M18 is even better. It's even faster. It's got like a set it and forget it. You can just put the tire pressure to what you want and hit go, and it'll go, and then you just move it to each and every other tire. If you set it all the same, you just hit go, 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 and I mean, you could probably fill up 20 plus tires with this, loan it out to your friends. There's cheaper ones as well, you know, that hook up to your battery or cigarette lighter. They take forever, but they work. So you're definitely gonna need one of those. The other thing is a pressure gauge, whether that be the little cheap pokey one or one of these long anchor ones, because they're pretty damn accurate. It goes on like this. We have a little bleeder button right here that we hit to bleed off the air. And you know, we can get very accurate with this. I usually like to use the Milwaukee and then use this afterwards to just like put baselines on the thing. Now, talking about tuning the car, right? Tuning suspension and tires, because that's going to be the big thing. Power, like I said, power really isn't something that you need to have at the track until you get faster and you're able to use that power. The biggest thing is learning how to brake, learning how to turn, learning how to take every single, inch of track that you can use out of the car and figuring out how the car handles. Now, I got a cool app recently. None of this stuff's sponsored, by the way, but I will have links down below. I downloaded this. It's called Race Car Setup Log. I got it on the App Store, $4. Keep it. I put my car in here. I put like the whole layout, so I have two-way non-remotes. And I'm like I got base cold pressures. I started at 26 PSI. After one session, it got up to 30, 26 got up to 29. So pretty optimal right there. Kind of figured that out. You can put in your alignment specs, compression low speed, compression high speed, rebound, spring rates, ride height, fuel, tires, your weight, and then kind of put notes at the bottom, which is really handy, because if you're one of those people that just think you're gonna remember in your head, probably not. I couldn't remember all that in my head, and I'm out here twisting knobs, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I got 2 clicks of compression up here, and you're like, oh wow, I actually just changed the rebound. I wasn't even thinking. So a good reference point, you can click back on your dampers and try to figure that out. If you have coilovers, single ways, all of that, touching those knobs is going to make you go faster or slower, depending on if you do it wrong. But practice makes perfect, and we got to tune stuff. These are tuner cars, right? These are actually on sale right now. If you're watching it this week, I just picked this up. This jack is, whoa, dude, that was scary. This goes in, but it hasn't clicked in. It has not clicked in yet. Let me click that in. Okay, this jack is 34 pounds. It is awesome. It's $300 though, so take that as you will. I had another one. I was taking this thing to the track. Would not recommend it. I could barely get this under my car. It was horrible, but it was a jack, and I had to use 3 pieces of wood. This is a big upgrade. Okay, one more item of business is gonna be, I guess, lounging, hanging out in between sessions. There's quite a bit of downtime at a track day. Sometimes you get a lot of events, it's packed, maybe you have an open track day or something like that, or at the end of the day, they let you go for quite some time. That's what Turn 8 does. It's very nice. I think when you're an advanced intermediate driver, I think you get like an extra hour or hour and a half or something like that, which is really cool. Extra lap track time. Good time to tune knobs, twist, do that sort of thing. Really awesome. But you're gonna want one of these guys. I brought out this one last time I was out. I have quite a few different chairs. This is my favorite comfortable chair right now. It's got a cup holder. You want to do this little strap. You flip this thing out. That clicks. You pop these up. Oops. Pop these up like this. Pop these up like this. So you could be hanging out at the track, have a little nap in between sessions, you know what I'm saying? Bring a chair, bring something to hang out on, and bring some shaded stuff. So now we're down to the last items, and that's tools. This is gonna be a little specific to the type of vehicle you're driving. If you guys work on your own car, which hopefully you do, if you watch my videos, hopefully you at least have seen me do it or seen someone online, some YouTuber work on your specific car. If you have that and you have reference to those videos and you've watched their videos in the past, you're gonna know, what kind of tools they're usually using. Are they using one of these guys every time they work on something? Maybe. This is great for changing wheels. If we know we're gonna be using a spare set of tires because we don't wanna drive out on maybe the tires that we're gonna race on, definitely bring that and bring a jack. That's gonna be a requirement for you, but it's something to think about. BMW wise, this is something I did not bring last weekend, and I needed e-Torx. External Torx. They look like this. You can see inside there. It's like a Torx, but backwards. Let me show you what a Torx is in case you don't know. Torx look like this. Some people call them star bolts or star wrenches, whatever, but they are called Torx. And you can see that it is basically a bolt that has this head on top, and then you're gonna grab the appropriate socket. So for example, this is a T60, Torx 60, and this is an E16 Mac tool. That fits on there. So that kind of gives you an example. But those are things that not everybody is gonna have. So if you have a specific tool like Audi's, right? Triple squares. Do you know what that is? It's not an Allen, it's a triple square. You're gonna need them. If there's not another Audi guy there and something happens, like your brake rotors or like something with your control arm or something, a lot of time that's triple square and no one's gonna have it besides Audi people. So, you know, learn those tools, buy those tools, bring those tools to get you home, or else have a tow plan. That's gonna be another one. Some people don't have the skills and don't have a tow plan, so you're gonna need one or the other to get home sometimes. Sometimes you'll be fine, other times not. This is my, kind of my tools. I just throw this in a random bag. So I'll kind of show you what I have. I bring everything to change out brakes because I bring a spare pair of brake pads. These are my rear brake pads and these are my front brake pads for the M4. They can be used, you know. These are used track pads that have life on them still, but you cook through a pair of pads, it's no bueno. I saw Matt Field out at Laguna Seca in an E36, his cool E36 that he had. You know, he was just slapping on AutoZone pads and he went through metal to metal because turn 2 is no joke on brakes. And they had to go to Napa, go get another pair. They brought those things back and he was back out on track. But, you know, if you get a car like this, you're gonna get these brake pads at Napa? No, you know, you're not. So just think about that. Having a spare set is great. For me, with Brembo, changing out the little pins, you're gonna need something like this, a little hammer. You might need like a pry tool, so I use this pry tool. This little punch right here, I use that for popping out the pins. So I use that with my hammer, boom. If you change, this is a good way, if you change your brake pads, take all those tools, make sure you have duplicates of those tools and bring them to the track so you have everything you need. We got a nice Vessel Phillips screwdriver, which is good. Long extension, 3/8, never know. One of these guys, a good old everything wrench, a good old monkey wrench, a good old crescent wrench. These are great, bring a decent one. Some pliers, cutting zip ties, pulling on stuff. If you needed to strip electrical or something, you can, not the ideal thing. These ones are big. Again, brake lines, maybe you need to bleed the brakes because you did not change the brake fluid like I told you to do, which is something you should be bringing. Spare brake fluid, spare engine oil, at least a quart. If your car burns oil, bring even more. Another one is coolant. Bring coolant if you have a specific car like an Audi or a, you know, BMW. Audis use the red stuff, Porsches use the red or pink. BMWs use the blue stuff. A lot of other people use the green stuff like Dodges and stuff like that because no one cares about those. Just kidding, haha. But you know what I mean. And then like Asian vehicles, a lot of time use the red or the pink. So keep that in mind. But these wrenches are great to have. These are for brake lines. So yeah, have those. Drill bits. That's a huge one. Because when you break a stud, that's no bueno. Easy outs, because you just broke a bolt, and I said a stud, and I bring extra studs because I have broken probably 6 studs and I bring extra lug nuts. Lots of extra stress on stuff, something to think about. I bring hose clamps, right? Different size hose clamps, you never know when you're gonna blow something off. I needed some JB weld last weekend, so I got this donated from my friend Matt at the track. Huge shout out, Matt, thank you. Because we had to patch up a radiator. This thing's great. I got some Torx in here. I got some different Allens and things like that. So this is just nice to have a little nut driver. I bring some tech screws because you never know when you're going to need those. A panel pry tool. That's great. Longer screwdriver. I'd bring a fat nose screwdriver as well because I have a fat lip, big lip. So I kind of bring this one for like broken screws. I bring a little stubby screwdriver. Tape, this is another thing you're gonna need for prep. Metal tape, you put this on your wheel weights so that your wheel weights don't fly off. You need to tape them on. The heat will melt the glue on there and it'll fly off. Pry tool, I bring that. I guess I bring 2 pry tools and some Allen, some normal Allen. I got some tape from Alex that I need to give him back. I have an adapter for 1/2 inch to 3/8 drive. And then it looks like we got an extra 10 mil because you know, you always need that extra 10 mil. I got a marking tool and I got some thread lock. A pole for my 360 cam, more sunscreen like I was talking about, another GoPro mount, suction cup GoPro mount, I have an umbrella in here. That's important if it starts to rain like crazy. I carry this little wheel cover for me from Apex Wheels. It runs me great. A Keys Motorsports adapter for coding the car, for OBD2 scanning, Wi-Fi stuff, whatever. It's an OBD11, so this one right here works on Audis. I bring that too, because if an Audi person needs it, I got it. I got racing gloves. These are just some BMW OE ones in case I forgot my other ones. I need to put those in glove box. More metal tape. A little squeegee for doing wrap. A lot of time putting on numbers. I put on all the stickers on my car last time I was at the track, so that's why I brought that. Gloves, because you might work on your car hot. You need to do something. You need to touch your brakes. Leather gloves. You're gonna need those. Zip ties, huge one. Track timer, whatever. Zip tie your bumper on. Totally zip ties. Torque wrench. 1/2-inch torque wrench for torquing your lug nuts down in between track sessions. Heat builds up, your lug nuts can get loose. You can break lug nuts, which I've done quite a bit. Couple microfibers. I think this is a little first aid kit because you never know. A ton of tech screws for if I gotta rig some stuff. This is a little jack guide that I put under there, a little squishy hockey puck situation. Here's another camera mount if I want to hook something up that's big. This is for my DSLR, which I don't usually do. We got some tape in case someone wants to tape their stuff up for numbers. I printed out my MCS coilover sheet, cheat sheet, and laminated it so I can check all my knobs and all my factory defaults. Then I also printed out a two-way, cheat sheet on what to do for suspension tuning. Great idea. That was from Moto IQ, I want to say. I got more nuts, bolts, washers, things like that. I would add a couple gloves because you never know when you're gonna get greasy or oily or whatever. And the last thing, some quick detailer spray. So that's pretty much everything. The other thing you're gonna need to bring is money. We always need money. We gotta bring food. Money for gas is what I'm talking about. Money for tires when you go home. Maybe you blow up a tire at the track and you gotta replace a tire. You need to have cash, and hopefully the tire shop's open to get new tires. But you know, stuff happens, so just kind of try to be prepared. Yeah, hopefully you guys liked that video. Leave down below what I left out. Oh, check these out. T-shirts. Yeah, you want a wrench on t-shirt? This is an old one. I've had this for like 4 years. E36 one. Anyways, there's a link down below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys have not. We'll talk to you soon. I know it was a long one. Later, and wrench on.